No!
The entire Sims series is about balance. It's about that beautiful balance between being realistic enough to have empathy for your characters and being quirky enough where it's not kind of creepy to be controlling people. And so creating and controlling people is fundamental. That control aspect is very important for us to always feel that the player has a choice. The player has control. A sim might be reflecting an emotion to you and sharing how they're feeling, and their lip quivers when they're sad, but it's because you put them in that state as the player. So we do walk a fine line between control and expression, but it's always the player controlling the sim. The Sims has always offered the player freedom of choice. The player should win in our game. What they would like to do should always be possible. If it's able for us to make it possible, then we will. And that absolutely includes who their sim has a relationship with, who their sim decides to flirt with, who their sim decides to have a child with. That's completely under the control of the player. We don't impose our own judgment on the player's choices. And that's how it goes.
Do you also have child adoption?
We do have adoption, absolutely. So a same-sex couple could adopt a child in The Sims, yes. The issue of religion is interesting. If you think of something like a prayer, which is repeating specific words, we don't have our Sims actually speak specific words. Our Sims speak Simlish for a very important reason. And that is that if a Sim has an interaction with another Sim, the story that you are telling as the player is more important than any story that we would be imposing on you. So there's no reason why a Sim at a dinner table speaking words can't be saying a prayer if that's the story that you want to tell. It's not up to us to impose that on the player.
Well, of course, as a player, you can choose to have a dedicated Christian character or a dedicated Muslim character.
Absolutely. You can, and what I love about The Sims 4, we've put so much emphasis on making sure that diversity is represented. We have incredible ethnicities, finally, that we can get to. We want you to be able to create people from all around the world, people you know, recreate your families and say, you know what, they do look like me, that does represent my family. That's very important. And if you decide that that character is Muslim and is going to say some type of a prayer, absolutely, that's a player choice. That would be up to the player, and there's no reason why you can't.
But then that prayer is imagination, right? It's not in the game.
Correct.
Yeah.
But all of the conversation in Simlish is player imagination, and that's the intention of it. It's not. It's the player's story to tell.
When the going gets tough, he watches daytime television. If at first he doesn't succeed, he doesn't try again. He is the least interesting Sim in the world. He doesn't always eat breakfast, but when he does, he makes pancakes.